Christmas 1961. My parents gave me this 7th edition Hornby train catalogue, and they told me when I get up, if you look around the house, you'll find a few surprises. And they're all over the house. This was the first engine they bought me, an Intercity. I haven't got the original carriages. And they also bought me this little steam locomotive. Now I've kept these things for nearly 60 years. Hi, my name's Ian. Since that date up to lockdown last year, I've wanted to build my own layout. I did one 2 years ago, made so many errors and it was too heavy and all sorts of things, but I learnt a lot. Here we are. This is what I've come up in the last 6 months and built this myself. I've done this partly to show it off because I'm chuffed to bits with it. I'm not a professional modeler or anything like that. I'm just a do-it-yourself, mess around in the garage type guy. But when I thought about building the layout, there's so many questions I just didn't know the answers to. So I thought, let's do a little video for maybe someone else that wants to have a layout that's a bit of fun and not get stressed out about all the different things to do. I've just written a crib sheet because I won't remember it otherwise. The first thing you have to think about is your board. Well, this is basically here, and the back boards is 3mm ply or hardboard, but ply is probably better. I use 2 sheets all over the base. I bought a 6x4 layout for nearly 100 quid with loads of track on with a mat, but it was awful. I'll show you a picture of it later. It wasn't big enough to get three carriage lengths and an engine, and to give it needed proportionality, and this has got that. So I extended it to 8x4 and 2 3mm pieces of ply, and all you need are 2x1 battens with some supports all round, and this lifts up. I mean, I could lift this up on my own. It's quite heavy, but I could lift it with 2 people, no problem. I need storage in the garage, so this set has 4 holes. There's 2 wooden battens go across here, across there, and there's 4 holes. I just put drop bolts in them, eye bolts, a couple of nuts underneath, and I've got a system of wires, and I just have a engine hoist, and it literally lifts it up to above head height, out the way. You obviously take the trucks off and all that because they'll run up and down, but you take anything that moves off. The rest of this is just eBay, Amazon, the usual old, you know, hunting and searching for stuff. But the decisions you have to make up front when you think, oh goodness me, what do I do? First big thing after laying your board out, you've got to lay all the track out. You've got to get everything out and wire it in and get it working. Because if you want electric points, which I did along here, so that you can work it all from over that side, so I don't have to keep walking round. So working it all from here, there's 7 electric points. I was worried about fitting those. Dead simple. It's just 2 wires from the motor to the switch, Pico switch, gauge master point, and then 1 wire to one end of your power source, and the other wire to the other end. That gives you your flow. Works a treat. So there was no big problem there, but the big decision up front was, do I do a DC layout? Do I do a DCC? I saw a friend's DCC layout, brilliant, but he has to get a controller, key in each engine has got to have a little computer chip in it, masses of wiring. He had to wire up all his track, loads of connections. It's a big job. The controllers are expensive. I didn't have that sort of money. I didn't want to spend that sort of money. So basically I bought every controller that's in the sort of eBay range, and I ended up with a Gauge Master and a 982 sort of flexible controller. The only ones I would avoid are the ones with a little automatic cutout. I think they're the R8250s, little Hornby set. They've got a cutout in. You spend your whole life, the train jumps off the track, it cuts it out. Something touches on a point, sparks, it cuts it out. The thing never worked, so I would avoid those. But all the other ones, the little cheapy ones, did work on this. I just felt I wanted something a little bit bigger. The next thing when you're buying the track, and this was a big mistake on the first one, I didn't fully appreciate electro points and Insulfrog points. Basically DCC, digital layout, you want electro points finished because they all get wired and the computer controls it. If you're doing a layout like this, where basically each track has one controller, the third duet controller runs the inside track, all the sidings and interchanging and all that all runs from that one unit, no extra wire or anything. So all I've got is 3 wires in, and I use the 3 controllers. So DCC is expensive, old engines might not fit the chips and that, so I went for just a DC layout. Totally pleased with that. Back to the points. If you're going to have this sort of layout, you want Insulfrog points. Basically the flow of the current, it just has a little break in the join of the point, and that helps you to control it. But they're the ones that work best with this sort of layout. If you get electro like I did before, you mix the two up, nightmare. The other thing is you've got to keep a flow of current, which this layout does. If I started to have a track going this way, then you wouldn't get the flow of current. You've got to always, if you like, have a loop of current, and this works completely, as you'll see later. The other big decision, do you put cork under the track? It is noisy, sound resonates, and there is an element of noise with this. I don't find it obtrusive, but it would have cost another 40 quid and a lot of work, and then on top of that all the stations have to come up, so you have to raise everything up by the thickness of the cork. I chose not to do it. Right or wrong, it's what I chose to do. So that was the basics of getting it going. But the most important thing, if you're going to put electric points in, and I didn't do this at first, I changed my mind later on, is where the little point switch is. If you're going to put the Gauge Master SEEP points, which are the simplest and easiest, they're just a little pin that goes through the track, fit it underneath your baseboard on a little block. That was a tip I was given. Put it on a little block so that you use the whole length of the motor. You've got to drill a hole under each of the points. If you lay your track down and glue it, which I had done before, it's a nightmare and you risk damaging the point. So get the track laid out, get it up, get it working, mark your holes before you fix the points in, drill your hole through, and then test it all. Don't start scenery and bridges and everything. I put my stations in place. I've got the layout sort of broadly. I didn't fix anything down till all the electrics were going. Personally, I found that before caused me problems. This time it didn't. 6 months work here. I didn't want to spend a lot of money. That was the other big factor. So basically the controllers were about £30 on eBay. Well over half this track was 100 quid. I bought a job lot on a a layout, as I said, a 6x4, and then I've got a few job lots of curves, a few job lots of the extra flexi track, the very long track. I think I've spent probably 320 to 350 on this. Bought the station and these, obviously. I bought job lots of this separate from the supports underneath and just made them up. I bought the station, the engine shed and the two signals. They're plastic kits, but the industrial area, the millionaire's house as I call it, the station workers' houses, and there's a cottage and a pub, they're Metcalfe kits, and they are brilliant. They're really good to do, easy to do. Everything on this is stuck down with PVA. PVA is the god of modelling. It's easy to put on, it's water soluble, it wipes up, and it dries clear, so you can't actually see whatever you've glued. And the last thing, building it all, I improvised. The moss is from the garden. I got a load of moss in the garden, dried it out, and it fits in, looks good. These trees are relatively inexpensive. I think they came from China, but I didn't want anything more than that. The road and the green grass areas, that is just the sheets of brown paper that have got the grass already stuck to it. You can buy those, there's loads of places you can get those. But with a watered down grey emulsion, I painted the road. So this looks like a tarmac effect, and that looks like the green grass and that. The little fences and things like that, matchsticks drilled into the baseboard, little bit of fuse wire tied around the fences here and there. This fencing around the industrial area here is actually fly net from Dunelm Mill, and you just cut it to size, matchsticks in, bit of PVA on it, hold it in place with a couple of paper clips or things like that till the glue dries, take that away. A lot of the fears about building a layout are, you know, I'm not professional, I don't profess to be, I don't say I even do everything the right way. It worked for me. And the one last little thing I did when I glued the ballast in, which is a messy job, no matter what video you watch, when you try and do it, it goes everywhere. Took me 3 days to ballast all this lot, but it works. The ballast I had to buy, in the middle of it is sand from Penchuan Beach in Cornwall, and on top of that is grass. There's real soil in the pens here for the pigs, and in the garden over there. Just sieved some soil in the garden, filled it up with PVA, and that was it. There's a lot of improvisation. You don't have to buy everything new, and I've now created this for, as I say, 350 at the tops really. Absolutely chuffed to bits. It all works. The trains interlink, they go on the turntable, they turn round. I didn't think I could build something like this, but I have. I've made this video, a bit of vanity, but also maybe someone else watching it will think, I'd like to have a go at that. And I hope just I've killed some of the myths and misconceptions about doing your own layout at home. It's a lot of fun. You'll make mistakes. There's loads of things. One of the roofs isn't on right. Yeah, you could go around and lots of things are professional, or someone that does it in a club will look at this and think, not very good. Not my aim. Not out to win a competition. I'm not out to prove anything to anyone. I just wanted a nice layout that I can have a bit of fun with. Grandkids come, we can all have a bit of fun. So I hope you enjoy what I've put together. If you haven't, thanks for looking at it. As I say, anything in it, don't come back on me if it doesn't work for you. It's just saying what worked for me. And I looked at professional videos, I looked at a lot of things online before I started it, and I improvised on a lot of stuff. When I was gluing the track, I just, with a paintbrush, got WD-40 in a little top off a bottle, and I just dabbed on the moving parts of the points some WD-40 or not machine oil, sewing machine oil, something that is water resistant. And when I glued you dilute the PVA to do the ballasting, and it runs everywhere. Well, if it runs onto your points and that, it glues them up. So I put a bit of water repellent on the points. None of mine have glued up, and there's probably 16-18 points on this layout. No problem, and the ballasting fitted in and whatnot. There's no hard and fast rules. It's just it's a lot of fun. So there we are. I hope you enjoy what I've put together. Thanks for looking at it. Right, long last, finished the layout. So I haven't got the engines on it at the moment, but let's just show you what we've built. Down here you've got a little farm worker's cottage with his vegetable garden and that, polytunnels. Then we can go across to the local pub by the track there. A few people sitting enjoying a beer. The engine shed with the working turntable. Go either way. It's all the ballasting, some ferns and weeds and that growing along the track. These are the station workers' little terraced houses. Overgrown little green area, obviously the signal box. There's a nice little industrial area there just to unload stuff off the trucks, and there, sitting proudly up top of the hill, is the millionaire's mansion. We go round over the back, there's a little farm area, pigs and some cows. And then 3 station platforms. Coming back round. Oh, hang on. Come back round here. And you've got the engine shed. Just a little bit of rubbish and stuff along there. Alright, see inside there. Got the mail pickup there. That's it. There we are. You go down the subways under there and across to that side to come up. That's why there's no footbridge. Yeah, and have a look at the layout from this side. Good. Well pleased with that. So look at it from this end. It's 8 foot by 4. Here we are, at long last. All set up and running. All looking good. Take this one out. Park this one in siding 3 over there. Right, okay, turn that off. Number 4. Oh, I need to move the turntable round. Onto the turntable. Then you change this point over, turn that point back. So you change the current, the flow of the current. Move that round to there. Let's take him all the way round. Turn the points off there. Take him all the way round and pick up those trucks in number 4. Round it goes. Come on, join on. And out it goes and off we go. And wait. We'll change that onto the middle line. Change the points over. That's it. Change these points back. That one there. That one there. So that changes over there. You want to go back, slow down, and use this controller to get to there, turn off, and then this one just to finish off onto there. So you change from one to the other. Change the points back. Change those points over, we'll put it back into the sidings. You must have all those points over there in line, otherwise it doesn't pick the current up. Goes down to there. Let's get Thomas out of the sheds. Sometimes needs a little nudge. Change the points, and round he goes. Point change. Whoop. Got that one on still. That's it. Right. And back he goes. That's it. Put him in there. Take him out of service. Bring this one in. And that one goes. All running nicely. We'll put this one into the station. Comes down into the station and stop. Change the points, that isolates that. The oil there's a mix of milk and oil and everything on this one. Take this round. We can stop in the industrial yard and unload, load up, whatever we want to do. And off we go again. Going to go around, put it in the sidings. change the point. We want it into that side in there, so that one's alright. So don't know why that wouldn't go then. Ah, there we are. Okay, so let's let's get number 3 out. Hang on a minute, haven't changed the points over here, so the flow of electric's not there. Turn the points over, away it goes, no problem. Turn the points back. Off it goes. Right. Let's get Thomas out. He's on the wrong side in. Move him back into the next one. That's it, he's out the way. Change those back. Get the DMU out, give that a little run round. Forward, off it goes. That's it. There we are. Coming out of the sidings. Right, we'll take this little shunt around and put him into the engine shed. Gone too far. Turn that over, in it goes. There we are. Stop there. Now we can take it. If we want to let's put another one in. Let's get this little loco here. So we want to run that one round into the other side. So that goes round. Still on number 5. Oh, come on. But we'll run this into the other engine shed. Stop there, that's it, that's good. The other one's had its service. No. One comes back out, change the points over, and away we go back round. Pick up the trucks. Along we go. Just get through there and stop, and we want to put this on siding number 2. That's it, so that's parked up in siding 2. Change your points back. Right, we've got the points in the right place. Let's get Thomas out again. Go for a run round, change your points back, change the points. It's got these delivery of Weetabix and Shreddies in the wagons. So round it goes. Going. panes all running round together. But we're going to put Thomas round on siding 4. Change the points. There we go, that's it. Change that back. Let's get the shunter back out of 2. There we are, away we go. Stops in the station. Let's stop the other ones in the station as well. The Intercity's coming in. Stop. And the Mallard's slowing down to come into the station as well. Bring Thomas back out. Bend him round the back. That's what's nice, is that you can run it all from one position. Take Thomas back round and park him up into number 4. That's it. Let's get number 3 out. Stop. Change the point. Off we go. Going to put the oil frame in the line siding 2. Goes up it goes, slow it down, off, isolate. Let's get this, let's get the steam engine out of the sheds. Change that point back, change that point back. That can run round, pick up some trucks. Change the point there. It's just not quite on. There we are. Forwards it goes. Change the points back. Let's stop the Intercity in the station. We'll slow the Mallard down as well for stopping the station next time round. That's it. Right, it's nearly the end of the day, so let's just put this one away on siding 3. Boom. And that's it. Love it. Brilliant. You can have a lot of fun chopping and changing, doing what you want, but it's all working. Switch off, points off, controllers off. Done. This rubber, track cleaner rubber, on the end is absolutely magic. You just go around that, picks all the bits of dirt up, clean it up from time to time, but keeps all the track conducting well.
Drinking in the morning sun, blinking a year have seen it right. Throw those curtains wide. One day like this